Hey guys, welcome back. We're taking a break from the Miata content, and today we're going to work on the Hemi. As you know, the last time you guys saw this engine, we've got it honed and the block cleaned up. But I went ahead and bought some new pistons. These are the old connecting rods with new pistons and new rings attached. I took them to a machine shop and had the connecting rods press fitted in. And we've also got some new main cap bearings and some connecting rod bearings, and we're gonna install those today. All right, so here are the new bearings. The grooved bearings are going to go on the block just as so. Just press them down in. Make sure you have the groove lined up with where the groove goes, and make sure it's flat on both sides. And that is one installed. Okay guys, I find the easiest way to get a bearing out of an old main cap is just take a small screwdriver and find the groove right there and just push a little bit, and then it'll kind of move, and then just slide it that way and it'll come right off. All right guys, now that they're clean, we're gonna go ahead and take the bearings and put them into the caps. And the ones you want to put in the caps are the ones that are smooth. You don't want the grooved one in the cap. So let's take this first one, find the groove, and the groove right there. And pretty much the same story as in the engine. Just kind of take it and push it right down in there. Okay guys, we got all the bearings on these main caps. Now let's go ahead and clean this crankshaft as well as we can in order to put it back into this engine. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some oil onto these bearings here, and then we're gonna put the crankshaft into the engine. I'm gonna get some fresh gloves just so I don't get any old, dirty oil that I was just messing with or contaminants on to these bearing caps. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe them right now, make sure there's nothing on them. Let's get this other glove on. And I'm just gonna use some 10W30, what goes in the engine. Just do a little bit of everything and put it on to the bearing. All right, get each bearing moved up. Let's get the crankshaft back on to the block, with the front facing forward and the rear facing backwards. Setting it down gently. There we go, just spin it a little bit, get that oil circulated around. Okay, now we can take our main caps and put those back into the engine as well. Okay, so we got the caps on, pointing in the directions they go. All arrows point towards the front of the engine. And I just took a hammer and beat them down into place. And we're now gonna put the bolts in and tighten them down and make sure this spins freely. So I'm now gonna torque these bolts. It's gonna be to 20 pounds, so start with the first one. All right, that's 20. This one, 20. 20. Put your cranks over here. There's one. 20 again. 20, 20, 20. And there we go. Okay guys, it's flipped back over. The crank is in. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the pistons in. Alright, so I'm going to film in normal time, me putting in the last piston. This is piston 7. Piston 8, down over there, I actually broke the oil retaining ring, so I'm going to have to get another ring for that piston. And so that one will be in another video, but I'm going to get piston 7 in, and then that'll be the end of it. You guys will see in the next video more parts going on to this engine. So let's go ahead and do the process of putting piston in this engine. So start by making sure your rings are at least 45 degrees apart so the open spot isn't the same, otherwise it won't have compression. And go ahead and put it in your little sleeve here, like so. Roughly about halfway down just so it doesn't come out. And you get a little Allen wrench. And the dog scratches his face because he's itchy. And you put this around it and tighten it, like so. And as you can see on the inside, it's properly closed together. You can't see any of the rings. So then you take it and climb it to the front, and that's the front of the engine. And make sure you get your bearing on here. A little bit of oil in that bearing, like this, just so it doesn't get damaged. And go ahead and there's one. Drop it down the cylinder, like that. And take your hammer and get this little metal sleeve kind of into the cylinder as well as you can, like this, and then just hold on to it. And then you gotta make sure the connecting rod lines up, looks good, and then just give it a whack, like that. You can peek to make sure the ring isn't gonna get messed up. And the bearing fell out. That's it too. There you go. There it is down in it. And you just wanna flip the engine over so you can see the connecting rod. Take your bearing, if it hasn't fallen off, and make sure it's not scratched, which mine is fine. And you know, put it back on the rod, like this. Make sure you can get it in there. It's in the groove. Like that. And push it down. There we go. Let's get it straight. Alright, that is in. Now we'll rotate the crank so the connecting rod is against it. Like so. Just go ahead and watch. And there we go. Now it's on it. And we get the main cap, or the connecting rod cap. And go ahead and set that on it. Like that. And go ahead and get it started with a bolt, and we'll move it up so we can tighten it. Here's the first bolt. I'm going to go underneath for the second one, like this. Alright, now we can turn it a little bit again to get a little bit better of a position, so we can finish tightening off, like this. Okay. I'm going to find my wrench real quick. Okay, well, that's that, so we'll just finger tighten it for now. Go ahead and push that all the way up. And just, oh, there it is. Finish tightening off. And we'll do torque specs in a second. Here, look up where they were again, and we'll torque all the connecting rods. Make sure it's all the way to the side so the other piston can fit in. Alright, so now we can torque them. Okay guys, I just torqued the connecting rods. I'm sorry I didn't get it because my dad decided to take photos instead of a video. But these are torqued down to 15 foot-pounds on the connecting rods. Alright guys, so here's the timing chain kit. This is the piece that goes in the back. And we have the main gear, the little gear, and the chain. This is the lower part of the gasket kit. The oil pan, rear main seal, everything that goes down at the bottom. And then this is the heads. These are the valve cover gaskets, intake manifold gaskets. And then the head gaskets are probably going to be in between that, along with what could I only assume would be the gaskets for the headers, exhaust manifold. All right, so we're now going to put this backing plate on. Looks like it goes right there. We'll just torque them. There's 20. There's 20. There's 20. Cool. All right, guys, it's a new day. We left off with the timing chain, putting that on. I had to take it off and do it again because the two links are actually supposed to go to the top and at the bottom. So that is back on. Now we're gonna put the oil pump back on. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it off. It's over there, and put it back on. So I'll get you guys where you can see it. All right, guys, I got the rear main seal on and torqued. I'm now gonna get the front cover on right here. So I will start filming again once that's on. All right, I got the water pump and the timing cover on. Now I'm gonna torque them down. I gotta look up the specs and then I will torque it. All right, guys, the engine's flipped back over since we put the oil pan on it. I've now got the motor mounts on the sides. The oil dipstick tube is on. And now what I'm working on is getting this harmonic balancer on. It's almost there. You just got to keep cranking this bolt until it goes all the way on. All right, guys, I got the new cylinder heads in, left and right with the EGR valve. Now I got to swap everything from these cylinder heads on here and put them on here. All right, guys, I didn't film much of putting the first head on just because I wanted to do it right and learn. So I will film the second side, so the passenger side. The first side went on pretty smoothly, got the head gasket on underneath there, and it was a 3-step torque sequence starting from the middle moving outward, and you've got these bolts in the end. And this is the right side. And you gotta press it onto the dowels on each side. All the way down firmly. Now the head gasket is on. Just gonna carefully set it here for 1 second. And then find the dowels on each side. 5 foot-pounds. Start in the middle. There's one. There's another. 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 Okay. 5. All right. 5. There we go. So now I'm gonna go ahead and use the 10. Sword. Swabble to the edge. 15. It's 15. Start rolling. There's 15. There's 15. There's 15. There we go. Finally, this last one over here. There you have it. Now I'm going to switch back to 15 again. This time, move up to 40. 40. Start in the middle. There's 40. 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 40. 40. Okay, there's the outside. Now switch back to 10s again. Take it down to 15 foot-pounds again. Alright, and do the same thing as before. These smaller bolts, go from 15. They're most definitely going to have loosened since you torqued the rest of the head to 40. 15, 15, 15, 15. And finally, do another 90-degree turn, which scares me because the more it's going to snap. Except I won't do exactly 90, but I'll try to get close. Okay. 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 All right. All right. Cool. So that's another head on. All right, we got the EGR valve in. Now it's time to put the push rods in. Okay, all the push rods are inserted. The short ones go on top, the long ones go on bottom. Didn't really see a point in filming it. It's kind of boring, but now I'm going to put the rocker arms in, and I will film that. All right, guys, the rocker arms are in the engine on both sides. I think that might be for it for today, but let me go check to see if I have anything else I need to do. Probably the next video you guys are going to see is going to be putting this engine